Hello students, so my name is Mohammad Kashif Shabir and today we are going to talk about your passage, how you can write narrative passage for your O-level and IGCSE exam. So first of all, if we talk about what is the examiner expecting from you, what is the demand of examiner? He wanted to check your content and structure of passage that you have written. So he can evaluate your performance on the basis of your passage and he will give you 16 marks. You will be awarded 16 marks completely if you write a clear, well organized story with a believable plot, convincing characters, and satisfying the shape. Originally over length, so it doesn't mean what is the length of your passage. Make sure you have to write a clear, well organized story that makes a sense, that makes the reader attentive toward this passage. The second thing that we have to make sure style and accuracy of your writing. So in this method, examiner is going to give you 24 marks and he assess your performance on the basis of your vocabulary, what type of words you are using. The second thing, your sentence variety. The third thing, control of tone or atmosphere that you have set through your words. Hopefully we will discuss about how to set the atmosphere or tone of your passage in today's lecture. And the last thing, that technical accuracy, which includes spelling, punctuation and grammar. So this is how your examiner is going to evaluate your essay for 24 marks. So we have a golden rule: a simple plot told brilliant outscores a complicated plot told clumsily. So make sure write simply as possible. Make sure use good vocabulary words so that can make the reader attentive toward your passage. So we have again make some difference. Cambridge hates these. They invariably ends up being silly and unmanageable. Ending of the world, alien invasions, gruesome death scenes, true crime, paranormal events, which is so these kind of topics, these kind of stories are disliked by the Cambridge. So make sure you have to write in a poetic license, write from personal experience. You can add your personal experience in your narrative passage with the develop of poetic lessons. Take a genuine experience, for example, a power outage, a difficult journey, a stage performance. Adorn it with a smidge of extra drama and sensory detail to make it super interesting. So make sure as you have might have some experience in your life. It can be a travel journey or it can be an accident. That can be story that can be introduced in a positive way. So you can told or you can write such kind of stories in your passages. So narrative shape, in narrative, first of all you have to establish the flaw exposition. You have to use some kind of such word that can create reader attention, that can create reader very attentive to toward your passage. First of all, that we have to use an example. Romeo preens in the vanity mirror, admiring his flawless makeup and paper white teeth, treating others poorly. So this is the passage opening, that how you can use some vocabulary words to make sure the reader get attraction. The second thing is the climax, force the crisis. The dressing room door is stuck, lighting flicker. Romeo is reduced to a sniveling child on the floor as the crowd chant for his understudy. The third thing is resolution. Waking up with a script stuck to his swollen cheek, he find a newspaper revealing his understudy is now a star. So there are three types of passages, opening passages example that way we can use. So first of all, we use some body paragraph. You start writing, thinking your story is simply about social media. Second thing, as you finish, you realize the actual focus is about how social media create unrealistic expectation and anxiety. The third thing is true message is locked in, as you have already explained your passage. Fourth thing is the hook. So if we just ignore this PDF for once, let me take you to the other PDF. Here are some rules that we need to discuss before writing your narrative S passage. First of all, we need the opening and we use hook the reader in the opening line. We use some sentences that can make the reader more attentive or attentive toward your passage. So we have to drop the reader into a moment of tension, mystery or sensory intensity. Never start with some kind these kind of word. Let me tell you about the day or a date, weather report, unless that detail is going real work. Second thing, we have to establish one dominant impression fast. Within the first paragraph, the reader should feel a clear mood. So whenever he read the first paragraph, he should have developed the feeling of fear or he can develop the feeling of warmth, or he can develop the feeling of urgency, or he can develop the feeling of wonder. Every detail in that paragraph should serve that single mood. The third thing, we have to show, don't tell. So for example, if you want to show the scaredness of a girl, so you should use some kind of words that can introduce scariness. For example, the held breath, the too fast heartbeat. Emotion is proven through physical detail and action, not stated as a fact. The fourth thing that we can show, use sensory details, not just visual detail. For example, we can use sound, smell, touch, and taste are understood by most students and instantly lift a passage above average. So we have to use sensory details so that can make your narrative passage more attractive. The fifth thing that we can do, vary the sentence length. For example, sometimes we use short or longer sentences. They must have a purpose. If we are using the shorter sentences, it means we are making the passage shock or urgency. That if we are using the longer sentences, it means we are demonstrating or we are declaring our information from us to the reader. A passage that is all one length reads flat, so it doesn't look so attractive. Use figurative language. If we have discussed, hopefully, we will discuss in future the figurative language. Of them, metaphor or simile are those which we can use to create feeling or image for the reader. We have to control the dialogue. Dialogue should reveal character or move the plot forward. It never just fills space. Cut any line a character that wouldn't actually say under pressure. We need to keep a consistent narrative voice and tense. Decide first or third person, or we have to decide as early as possible as we have started the writing to passage. As we have started to write the passage, we have to decide either we are using the first person or third person, or we have to decide either we are writing about writing in past or present tense. So we have to decide before writing your passage, and never drift mid paragraph. During paragraph, never switch from past to present. So make sure you will write in the same manner as you have started from your first paragraph, and make sure your every paragraph ending must be impactful, and also the ending of your passage must be impactful, so it can create a strong final image, a quiet resolution, and make sure it will never remain unanswered. For example, if you make a query, you have to make sure its ending must be satisfying or it must be conclusive. You have to conclude your narrative passage, and you have to solve a problem if you have discussed in a positive way, so you can end it happily. So other things that we can discuss, these are the opening paragraph statement. For example, if you're writing, do you think technology is bad? It's kind of very bad opening. Instead, you can write, what if you woke up tomorrow with no internet? This is a statement that could makes a reader shock or impactful. So if you are using imaginary scenario, imagine no school tomorrow. So for this, we can write, imagine a world where schools no longer exist, society is slowly collapsing. So this kind of opening can give you a very good overview, very good chance to write good hook passages, the opening passages. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. So Einstein said a thing about technology. Instead of writing, we can reuse this word by Einstein. At the end, we have written Einstein, which shows the reference toward Einstein. If we are talking about fact or research, people check phone a lot. Instead, we can write, average person checks their mobile phone 344 times per day, once every 4 minutes. So this is the habit that makes reader more attractive. Metaphor, starting a new school is like stepping onto a roller coaster, as it's a very dangerous thing. So that's why we use example of roller coaster. What if failure is actually the key to success? So sometimes failure give you some more new ways to invent how you can get success, how you can be successful. So these are more examples. Hopefully, we will discuss as soon as possible. Till then, just understand these topics and try to write on your passages and get them checked by me. Allah Hafiz.